Yeah, very good evening to you once again. Time for our complete wrap of the day's sport. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus met with the media earlier today to explain the plans of his first Springbok alignment camp, which was attended by 10 players from the Stormers today. Erasmus also explained the reasons for the Boks' new policy of contracting players, the difficulty of keeping top players and competing against the exchange rate. The Boks coach also gave his views on how he has seen Super Rugby so far and the positives and negatives he's picked up from South Africa's franchises.
The first Springbok alignment camp was to keep in touch with the Springbok players and to stay aligned to the bigger picture, that being a World Cup in Japan in September.
Obviously, we shared a lot of World Cup plans in terms of how many games we're going to play, what's our plans in the rugby championships, when we go to the World Cup, what can you expect, give them feedback, how we plan the World Cup in terms of travelling, families and those kind of things. So a lot of info was given in terms of that.
Next week, it will be the Bulls and the Sharks' turn for an alignment camp in Pretoria, where approximately 20 players will be involved. Erasmus also explained SA Rugby's new contracting policy and what it will mean when big-name players opt for major contracts with overseas players. He says SA Rugby can simply not compete with the salaries these clubs offer at the moment.
We're not going to bat against these big guys anymore. We can't afford them. We're going to try and spread our money through more players. What does that mean? If a big name player now leaves, his money comes available and we start putting it into the bottom of our system, the third choice, the fourth choice, the second choice, the first choice. If that big player accepts the smaller offer we're giving now, we might have 5 less guys that we sign at the bottom, if you understand what I'm saying.
Erasmus has been surprised by the first few rounds of Super Rugby, with teams playing more tactically, with less running rugby and tries scored.
For me, the way the Bulls went around about their business in the first round and the third round was very impressive. I think the way the Lions handled the away game against the Jaguars was really impressive. And then again, obviously the Bulls struggled to replicate that when they went away from home. And the Lions, struggled this last game. The Sharks were really clinical in the first 2 games. And then the last game, I thought, the Stormers got it right tactically. So, yeah, it's suddenly this game where it isn't all about X factor and all about a brilliant moment. It's almost like the teams are trying to squeeze tactically results out of one another. And to be honest with you, I enjoy that.
A big year for Springbok Rugby. The more planning and alignment, the better. Craig Murray, SABC News, Cape Town.